And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. You create a trust. You create a grantor trust. This trust will process 1041 recoupments. Will process the 1041 recoupments process. I could have wrote that a little differently. So the grantor trust is the trust that's going to be doing the 1041s to support the 1099s that you send into the IRS. Okay? So, and these are the trusts you're going to have. You're going to have a family trust. The grantor trust is the first one. The family trust. This trust will connect. This is the trust that you're going to be putting your lights in, your bills in, all of these things so that you can turn around at 1099. Now, a lot of people in the first year, you have been transacting as the social through all of your affairs. So in that first year, it's a little more complicated to get it done, but it can be done because you got to show the relationship between the social and the trust, and you got to do some things to get that done. When Al gets on, that's his expertise. He's the man. Al is the certified CPA. He's the one who does all of these things. He handles all of those. If you were to go through the process that I teach or we teach, he's the one who's going to get it done for you so that you can get your bills paid. All right. But you gonna have to process your own 1099s, and we show you that at the beginning of the year because that's when you're supposed to process 1099s. You're not supposed to be doing 1099s all year round. It is only that first 45 days of the year. And some of those have to be in the within the first 30 days of the year. Okay? So trust, grantor trust. That's to do the 1041. I tell you what, if you don't believe you're special, just trust what I just said. You are special. You are the divine manifestation of God himself. That's why I keep saying you only have one job. One job. And it's not working at someone's job. It's not filling out applications to become employed by someone else. That's not your one job. It's not, I got to do all these things so I can take care of myself. That's not the one job. It's not it. See, before I tell you what your one job is, I have to show you how you got here. Because through religion, through education, through social programming, social manipulation, media manipulation, and deception, you were made to believe that you have to do certain things in order to be successful. When you got here, you was already successful. You already had it all. Think about it, right? In the Bible, they had what you call the prodigal son, right? He had it all, right? And then one day he decided, I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go hang out. Pops, give me my bread and let me go do my thing. You do your thing, I'm gonna go do my thing. So he disconnected from the source of having it all and went somewhere else where the funds he had was limited. First of all, he didn't have the mindset to even hold on to it. He blew it. He did all kinds of things, right? I won't go into all of the gory details. Then he woke up one day. He came to himself. He woke up one day and said, wait a minute. I can go back to the source where there is all, everything's there, but I'm gonna go this time as a servant because I know I don't deserve to come in as the son because I was disrespectful. I did not appreciate what my father had set up for me. So he went back to the father and said, oh, Papa, I want to be back here and I'll come as a servant. Just let me come back. And Pop said, what? Are you kidding me? I'm going to allow my son to live like a servant? See, my love and my provisions don't run out. And because they don't run out, you can always come back. As long as you realize that this is the source of everything for your existence. This is everything for you. And it doesn't run out. See, what the social structures have done is made you think of lack instead of abundance. Made you think that you have to have this. You got to measure up. Take these tests. Think about it. 12 years of taking tests have taught you only one thing: how to be afraid to fail, how to be afraid to not measure up. So you're so concentrating on what you don't want, which is the failure, which actually is what gave you the fail because you just was thinking about what you don't want. This goes back to you only have one job. Whenever you think, I need that, it's always a struggle to go get the need. But with the wants, there's no struggle there. It's work, yes. Because what you'll do is you'll become singular in your mindset and you'll get rid of a lot of stuff just to get that one. Trust me. when you have problems, and they could be extreme, that is a great opportunity for you to really practice transcending that situation and work out not allowing it to bring you down consciously. That's the mission. That's the mission, to be able to navigate all of the challenges of this world that it may bring you and still be able to walk over it like Christ walked on water. Still be able to allow yourself to be sacrificed for the good of mankind. I'm not saying go, allow people to nail you to a stake or anything.
All right. All right, there we go. Some contracts. I'm gonna go over the W-4 form. So anyway, that you've already filled out. I've done several shows on it, but still people are confused. But I'm gonna go over it and show you how even that W-4 form that you already did is not correct. It's not complete. So you can undo that. It tells you there. When we get there, we'll talk about that. All right. Anybody else got a question? Anybody else? Before I move on, keep going. We got some more to read. All right. Okay. 3, furnishing of a kit. Where was I? That was okay. Additional information to be furnished by employee to employer. Every employee who, on the day on which he is required to comply with paragraph B1, 2, 3, and 4 of this section has an account number card, but for any
Just of putting your car in a trust. You can protect it from creditors and ensure that it remains in your control, even in the event of financial difficulties. Let me stop right there. The best way to protect a car in a trust is to make it an irrevocable trust. If it's a standard, living trust, but it's not irrevocable, whoever's involved in that trust will have issues with the trust. Say if the trustee has financial issues, tax issues, because in some senses, the trustee is considered the legal owner of the asset. The grantor, if he's got tax issues or other lawsuits, they can penetrate that trust, depending on how it's written. But if it's an irrevocable trust considered its own entity, and none of the parties involved have any liability, because that asset belongs to that trust. The trustee is just managing it. All right. So some people will say, oh, if it's irrevocable, you can't change it, this, that, and the other. That's true. But if you have wording in that trust that gives the trustee power to buy and sell and title property and take title to property, you could put a car in the trust and it can come out of it, long as that language is there. And that's going to be a very important language to have in there, especially when you're registering the car. They are going to look for that. When I get to that part, I'll go into detail. Another advantage of putting your car into a trust is privacy. When you put your car into a trust, it is no longer in your name and therefore not listed as one of your assets. This can provide you with a sense of privacy and confidentiality and help to keep your financial information private. In addition to asset protection and privacy, putting your car into a trust can also allow you to pass down your assets to future generations. So depending on how you write this trust, you can say who gets it next. There won't no arguments over your property. Make sure nobody else is trying to get in. Doesn't look like it. We're still missing 2 people. All right. That means your car can be passed to your children or other beneficiaries without the need for probate court proceedings. This can save your loved ones time, money, and stress, and ensure that your assets are distributed according to. You have to go through something to accomplish something. Say it again. You have to go through something to accomplish something. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not willing to go through something to accomplish something. It's too hard. That's too much. I hear people say it all the time. Man, that stuff you do, I couldn't do that. Working that hard and making all those phone calls, get those loads. I can't do it. That's too much. Basically what they're saying, it's easier for them to go work for somebody and be told what to do. That's what's easy. I think they just be talking when they say that. They don't really understand what they're saying. It's like Christ said when they had him up there, crucify him, and he said, forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. And I'll say to that, forgive them, Father. They know not what they say. They don't know the consequences of their very words. They don't know. It's that simple. Do you realize that you're receiving your reward of every word that you utter out of your mouth? There's a saying in the church, power of life and death is in the tongue. And that is very true. The power of life and death is in your tongue. The power of success and failure is in your tongue, in the words you utter. Not just the words you utter, the words you think, because the thinking of the words come before you actually speak it. You have to double down on it, meaning you have to contract with the word before you speak it, right? You think about it, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and you speak it. You think about it, then you decide to speak it. You create a contract with your consciousness. Oh, I accept what this is as the truth, and I'm going to speak it now so that I can solidify it and see that it comes forth. All right, peace. What's up? I had to check my mic. Make sure got a little rent on my hat. Everything's working good. That's always an issue. All right, it's January the 20th. Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm a little ahead of myself. It is January the 19th, 2024. Roughly 11 days left in the month of January. We're done. We're well into this corporate new year. A lot of exciting things are happening over here on the Hindsight front. I will be announcing them pretty soon. Get my mic here. So, a lot of good things are happening. A lot of the things that I wrote down on my New Year's ritual have come to pass very quickly. This is why I tell you, if you lock it in early on, like I had this locked in at least 2 months before the actual New Year came, had it in my consciousness, then I finally wrote it down. We are so powerful, we can have what we want. There's no doubt about it. You can have exactly what you want. And guess what? You are getting exactly what you think. See, having what you want and having what you think is two different things. They gotta align. You can't be wanting peace, but thinking hell. You have to align your consciousness with the reality. You have to align it. See, there's people out here that want to be millionaires, billionaires, whatever, or at least have a lot of money, at the least. But for some reason, they can't get it. They're not in line or in the frequency of that flow of money. Why? Simply because their rhythm, vibration, and their thinking is not in that space. For a fleeting moment, they think about, man, it would be good to have all of this money. Do you realize that when you say it will be good to have all this money, you just declared to the universe that you don't have it? So therefore, you're stuck in that spot where you know and believe you don't have it. It'd be good if I wish I had this. I wish I had that. That's why you ain't got it, because you wish it. Another reason why you got it, you're praying to God to give it to you, instead of thanking God that you got it. Because all that God has to offer is already there for you to go walk up and take part in. It's like a divine buffet. So you have to know it already, that God already decreed it yours. If the inspiration is there in your mind of this great thing that you want, that you desire, that means you already have it. No, I can't physically touch this. Do y'all understand the physical touching and having it is the end result, is the symptom or the result of your previous thoughts accumulated into this right now? That's it. The physical is the end. It's the ending of it. It's the ending of, that's why I say it's better the ending of a situation than its beginning. So in the beginning, you have to already know, wait a minute, if this is in my divine consciousness that I can have all of this wealth, I can have the mate that I want, the peace in my life, then what is stopping me? The simple words, I can have it, is stopping you. Akeem, you're speaking in tongues now. What I'm actually saying, you're supposed to speak as if you already have it. You're supposed to know it's already there. So as you know it's there, then it shows up in the what we call the 3D reality of our world, our actual, where we can actually touch it, see it, taste it with the physical body. That's the distraction. The distraction is the world. It's just like, because the physical world says, well, I don't see it, thus it doesn't exist. I don't see it in the physical world, but wait a minute. It does exist in your consciousness, because you can see it in your consciousness. But how you're thinking about it, you push it away by how you think about it. You think about it like it's not there. I wish. God, give it to me. Instead of going to God, thank you for giving me the good man or the good woman in my life. Thank you, God for the wealth. Thank you for all that I have now, all of the wealth that I have right now. You already have to see yourself in the position you already in as wealthy, as prosperous, as peaceful. You have to be it now. The physical world is nothing but an illusion. You know, things in the physical world, that's the devil's illusion. Because what did he do to Christ? He came to Christ, he said, after he was meditating and was, pure in his spirit, detoxed, and the devil came and said, hey, he showed him something. He showed him. Let's read that. Let's go there. If somebody give, I remember these stories, but I don't remember exactly where they are. Where they are. So if someone could be faster than this Google searching about. Oh, there it is. I found it. See, and let's read from the very beginning. And this is the key to all of your success. The very first sentence is the key to how you're going to get what you want. And let me tell you, you already got what you want. You have not aligned and bought into it or trust that you already have it. Here it is. It's Matthew chapter 4 in verse 1. It says, "Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil." The Spirit led him there to be tested. See, some of us are scared to be tested. How do you know how strong you are if you're not being tested? That relationship you're in right now, those situations that you find yourself in, you were led there. That you calling bad situations, that you looking, man, I wish I never did it. You were led there by the Spirit because you had to be tested to see what you really made of. So there's no situation you find yourself in that you ain't been led into. Yeah. Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. After fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. I can imagine, because I fasted a couple of days, man. The most I've ever fasted was probably close to 2 months. When I first tried it, I lasted almost 2 months. Now, it wasn't like I was drinking water and juices and stuff, but like actually not eating physical food, I lasted almost 2 months. And now I've tried to duplicate that. I haven't been able to duplicate that since. I might make it 3, tops 5 days. And then something, I grab something and put it in my mouth, and before you know it, that fast is over as fast as it started. So you talking 40 days. He was hungry. The tempter came to him and said, "If you are the Son of God, tell these stones to become bread." Do you notice what the tempter did? He used the very thing that his body needed as a way of trying to trick him into going backwards. Turn it into bread. If you this, prove yourself to me. If you are the Son of God, do this. Think about it. When you're trying to teach people things and you walk in a certain way and you're shining in a certain way, you vibrating on a very radiant level, people see that and then they'll come to you. Oh, he think he all that. And then they try to test you. Jesus answered, "It is written, man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." Think about that. He said, we don't live on bread, we live on the word that comes from God's mouth. And what is this word that we're living on? Is what I said in the beginning. The reason why you're hitting these walls is the words that's coming out of your mouth that you're living on that's blocking you. It's how you utter these words. You have to say it like you already got it. You have to almost be arrogant, man. I got this, man. God got me. Wealth. When you start to think you don't have it, wait a minute, hold. Let me slow down. I got this already. I'm already wealthy. Look around me. I have this. I have food in my refrigerator. I have a car to drive. My bills are paid. It's not a struggle to pay these bills. See, some people say it in reverse. They say it in other words. It's a struggle to pay these bills. It's hard out here. And social media and people that you hang out with will encourage you to think that way. You have to be blinded. And you have to rebuke those words. Man, I got this. Some might say you talking fantasy talk. Maybe. But I think it makes you feel better saying what I just suggested than sitting up there thinking about how much you don't have and how much you're short. Think about the feeling that gives you versus the feeling it gives you when you say, I'm not short. I got this. My bills are paid. This relationship that I'm having struggles with, it's good. for a purpose. Here for a purpose is training me to do something. Maybe this person is not for me, but it's at the same time, it's teaching me patience, long-suffering, forgiveness, grace, non-judgment. Not to be so vindictive. Not to be so that I have to be right about this. And those are the things that you could be learning from that situation. See, remember, people that show up as difficulties in your life show up as the things you need to work on. Yes, they show up as the very thing you need to conquer in yourself. And this is what happened. The very first thing, hunger was the thing he needed. And the devil showed up in the very thing he needed and tried to challenge him with it or test him with it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You be ready to, you know, prepared yourself to have all of these great things happen. Then all of a sudden, when you about to move forward, something big happens. Like the other day, Friday, I was having a great day. And I'm studying insurance, you know, homeowners insurance, car insurance. I said, let me study this because I pay for this all the time. Let me understand this industry. And then I realized that in order to get an insurance license, you just got to take a pre-licensing course, which most of the courses cost anywhere from $160 to $200. And you could do it online. And once you take the pre-licensing course, you can go and take your state exam, which is probably going to cost you another fee. And then after you get the license, it's a continuing education. That's all it takes to be an insurance agent, to sell car insurance and property insurance. Now, they break it down in sectors. Now, they have what you call property and casualty insurance. That's for houses, cars. Then you have life insurance, and then there's other forms of insurance. Then you could be an insurance. You can take a test to be an insurance broker. But I said, wait a minute. This is all it takes to do this? So I'm telling you this. So I'm deep in the studies, right? Friday, I've scheduled my day out to spend so many hours studying this. Right during my studies, vertigo hits me, and it hits me bad. bad. So it took me out for the rest of the day. But I got over that, and up the next day, because I wanted to go through the whole chapter and then take the quizzes, right? Yeah, and I was just that close to taking the quiz, and then that happened. But the next day, which was yesterday, I got up and I took all the quizzes, and then I learned. Here's the thing that happened, which is, I don't like it when it happens, but what it helped me do was learn how to take these tests, because even though you might get a passing score, take the test several times. If anyone is interested, take the test, the little practice test several times, because every test they give you in the practice is different. So what I got to learn was that if I take these, no matter if I pass it out, keep taking the test over and over again, I can see the different variations of questions they're going to throw at me on the actual test. So this is why, thus be prepared. That's the title. So be prepared, because you never know. Because when I was going to do it the day before, I just want to pass the test and move on to the next chapter as quick as I could. But I realized as I kept doing that, I said, wait a minute, they're throwing these questions at me in every different way. I don't know what the actual real test is going to be like, so let me just take it. So I probably took that test 8 times yesterday. And I took it enough to give me an average score of what my score would be like if I was to take that test. So, but the point I'm trying to say is, like the devil came at Jesus, things pop up that will distract you and throw you off course, and you can use those things as excuses not to continue on. Anything you want to accomplish, you're going to go after and really make it happen, you're going to be tested to see how serious you are. about moving forward with that. You will be. I'm sorry. You're not escaping that. You're not getting around that. It will happen. Come out of nowhere, blindside you. Then the devil took him to the holy city and had him stand on the highest point of the temple. If you are the Son of God, he said, throw yourself down, for it is written, he will command his angels concerning you, and they will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. See, you notice how he's taking him to the physical stuff and tempting him with what he can see. And this is how we get tricked. We get tempted by seeing things in a certain way that blocks us. So you look in your pocket, you look in your wallet, ain't no money there. The bank account is right there at the point of anything that comes through is going to get returned. Now you could choose to look at that and say, that's what it is. And guess what? It will continue to be that way. But the only reason why it is that way is because some thought you had prior to that led you down that path. So if you can understand that concept, you change that thought. Wait a minute. That's not my bank account. I don't know what who bank account this is. It ain't mine. Mine's got millions in it. And believe in that and watch that money rush at you. Some would call it a miracle. Me, I call it divine intervention. When I mean by divine intervention, you started to think divine thoughts and divine things started to happen. That's divine intervention. You are the divine interventioner. You take charge. And align yourself with the divine purpose that God has for you. And this is what you're here to learn, how to master yourself, how to master these temptations, how to master these difficulties. Jesus answered, it is also written, do not put the Lord of your God to the test. That's what people say. If you got it like that, you could do this, you could do that. Putting you to the test. You don't even pay that stuff no mind because you know how God works in your life. You know. Let me double check. Again, the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. All this I will give you, he said, if you will bow down and worship me. Jesus said to him, away from me, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only. See, the only thing the devil was trying to do was steal his inheritance from him or trick him out of it so that he don't get it. Not that he could steal it from him. He was trying to trick him away from what was already established, what he already had. How can he give him something he already got? Yeah, the devil got temporary control over this dominion. Yeah, but that's it. That's the extent of his power. Christ got dominion over all things. The devil was just allowed to handle his business around here. And of course, I'm speaking in a figurative sense, meaning the negative mindsets of people, the negative ideas, the negative energy is just temporary. And the only reason why they exist is because people exist in it. People believe in it. Soon as people stop believing in it, it ceases to exist. So it's basically a collective mindset of people promoting these ideals. They took down what? TikTok, right? They took it down, right? Temporarily. I believe it's going to be back up. I'm not worried about that. And even then, there's nothing man can do will stop me receiving the blessings that God has for me. Because guess what? It was already preordained for me to have it. So why would I worry about what he done, what they doing, what the government doing, what Trump would do, what Kamala, all these other people? Why do we worry about what these people do? They have no more power than what you give them. The only reason why they even in the position that they are is because people put them there. People believe that they're gonna make some difference. Government only exists by the belief of the people. Without believing in it, people supporting it, there's no use for it. But when you support it, it breathes life. And so we breathe life as a collective. People are breathing life to their devil, giving life to it, and don't worshiping false gods. I've been preaching this for a long time, that y'all need to take your whole life and give it up to God in a financial sense for your own protection. And here's the thing, this preaching, this teaching I've been saying for years, it's paying off. For people not even in the group are using things they heard me say on a show to get their house paid off by simply using the Bible. And I've seen the physical proof of it. I know I ain't gonna talk about nothing I ain't never laid my eyes or can prove. I've seen the physical proof just by saying the magic words, the holy words. House got paid off. They didn't go into their bank account and pay it. I'm not gonna go any deeper than that, because we got the devil worshipers, we got the naysayers, we got the eavesdroppers that will take it and twist it in. I want them to be able to twist it into what they think I'm talking about and see what they get for the results. But it's paying off. Now, when they said, hey man, it was you don't want to help me do this. You said this and that. And I had to tell them, I said, dude, let me explain something to you. A lot of stuff that I just break down, and when I tell y'all to write stuff down, that comes from divine inspiration. I'm not kidding you. I don't remember exactly what I said. You got to remind me or point me to the show where I said it. Because it comes from, it's coming from the mastermind. See, there's an intention here in this show. That is to liberate you from the idea that you got to be in prison, to the idea that you must clock in and clock out on somebody's job to be successful. That's the main message here. That's why I always talk about it. The reason why I teach that is because I know once you liberate yourself from that, then you can truly dedicate your life to God. Because as long as you are somebody else's slave on a job, I don't care what you could be paid. You could be getting paid 7 figures. I don't care. It's still, if you're working for someone, you're at their mercy. You're at their beck and call. See, when I take this straight out of the Bible, I don't recall any true person of God that God used in the Bible working for somebody. At times they did, and then was elevated because they held God and put him first, right? Joseph was thrown into a pit to be eaten up by wild animals, and then he ended up being a slave, so that means he worked for someone. But because of his dedication and putting God first, he became second in command of all of Egypt to Pharaoh. What, David started out as a shepherd boy, right? Working under a king, he became king. God took and put him in kingship. Why? Because he put God first. Solomon became the wisest man in the world ever to live because he put God first. And how did he end up there? He was given up to God. Samuel, given up to God. He was in the temple. when he started hearing God talk to him. See, what has happened in this current governmental system, we were given up to the world. We were given up to the man's world by way of being born and birthed in man's hospital, state controlled, and getting birth certificates. So it's recorded on their records that you were given to them or sacrificed to Baal, a false god. And from there, we take that birth certificate and represents Baal's image, or likened to the image that Nebuchadnezzar wanted everyone to bow down to. And the 3 Hebrew boys put God first and they were saved. But we take these documents from the government and we use them when, if you don't know, you will know right now, the government, United States, is a religious corporation. So anything you attach yourself to, you're adopting their God, their form of worship. And their form of worship is, their rituals is, get your birth certificate, get your social, and take that and do commerce with it for our benefit. Bring us back our tithes, our offerings. As the Bible has been clearly telling you, be in the world, but not of the world. But we do it so easily. Why? Not because you do it on purpose. I mean, now you are, but you do it because of ignorance, because this is what you were told to do. This is what everyone else is doing. See, if you make your house a place of worship, a true place of worship, take a room and dedicate it to God. Make your altar, whatever you want to call it, a place where that's where only spiritual things happen in that room. And sanctify it, bless it. That, I promise you, will have a direct effect on a proceeding in court. As I told you, they can't touch you. They can't touch you with that. So that's as far as I'm going to talk about that one. You see, you are being tested by physical distractions all the time, especially when you're ready to really be dedicated to moving up, because it's like there's an evil presence, an evil thing lurking in the background, just paying attention, watching. And soon as you try to move away and try to move higher, it activates to try to distract you. And the way it does it, it brings people, a TV show you want to watch, or a bad habit you've been trying to get rid of. It intensifies itself. See, the biggest struggle you're going to ever have in your life is with your own self. It's not the people. The people are distraction. It's your own self. Because really, whatever the people doing, they're doing outside of you. It's you looking at what you're doing and what they are doing and distracting yourself from your walk. That man, that woman that's giving you a hard time right now is just the distraction, just trying to distract you from where you need to go. Because you need to go where you need to go regardless of who you with. Walking towards your divine purpose. And if that person wants to share that with you, that's great. If they don't want to share it with you, that's great. See, when Jesus was in the temple, they had visit, they do their yearly trek over to do their service to the temple and God. The family left, he was still there. They had to walk back and get him. See, that was more important. I said, what are you doing? And Mo said, what are you doing, boy? We've been looking for you. He said, how did you not know? I'll be in the house of my father. You have to really look, because you should have known I'll be here. See, that's the type of dedication. See, you put Fourth, the kingdom of heaven first. All these things will be happening. These things pay people in places. The good husband, the good wife, the good finances, the peace, the good life will be added to you because you putting forth that first. And don't let them take you off your walk. Yes, we will get distracted at times. I've been distracted, and that I pay. When I get distracted, I pay for that. Walk in the way of truth. It all boils down to that. Truth. What is the truth for you? Because if you're in a situation and there's no truth there, or that person is not wanting to be truthful and they being deceitful, Jesus only sat down with Judas temporarily at that dinner. He knew he was a traitor, and that was temporary. He called him out, but he didn't really pay too much attention to that, because he gonna do what he gonna do. Because there will be a time they will be convicted by their actions and leave, or be convicted and correct their path. Either one is good for you. Either way they go. See, we get so stuck with the struggle of holding on to things and people that are not going down the divine path you're going. You just have to look and say, well, they're not going down the path I'm going. They're not wanting to walk a divine path, the one I'm walking. So this is where we stop sharing the walk and be okay with it. That's the key. Accepting it. Letting things go. Letting people go. Your biggest struggles is not letting things go that's not serving you. Being swift to it. See, Jesus was swift. He ain't sit there and think about, wow, man, that world look good down there. I can stroll in. Well, man, I know it got me being the boss of everything. I have access to all these women. Man, beautiful women. He didn't even stop and think about it. You see? He didn't say, man, what you trying to give me is nothing compared to what I already got. See, that's the only way he can overcome it. He knew he already had it. See, that low bank account is nothing compared to what you already got. It's nothing, because what you got is the ability to see yourself as having it all, as if you already own it. And own it and stick your chest out talking about it. Let the people think you're crazy. Man, that he broke. He know he broke. Let them say it. So what? As long as you don't adopt that thought pattern. Because now you just created a new reality. See, reality is created in the consciousness. The physical is what projects what's in your consciousness. So the truth is being revealed to you at all times. When people show up and they ask who they are, doing all kind of crazy things, that's who they are. Don't be surprised. It's what they about. Accept it. Oh, this person about that. Man, I don't want no parts of that. Go enjoy yourself, as long as you think you can enjoy yourself living that way. When you become really truthful to yourself, I can guarantee you, no matter who you with or what you doing, all of the things that oppose that truth will not stay. Yes, they will create a ripple or try to create storms in your life at first, because that means there's still some deep down in you not wanting to let it go. But when you really let it go and be like, hey, I'm done with that, and you're okay with them not being there, not being around them, you'd be like, oh, why didn't I do this sooner? And it was just simply a simple conscious shift, a mind shift, a thought shift. That's all it was. But what made it difficult is you wanted to hold on. Like what happened with Lot's wife. She was slowing them down. They were supposed to leave that city days before they left. And that angel said, listen, y'all need to get your aces out of here because something coming. Then when they finally left, Lot, the two daughters, they kept looking ahead. They said, don't look back. See, this is what's happening in our lives. We want to move forward, but we keep looking back. Oh, I wish that person can go with me. His own wife looked back and she was right there, stuck in time, done. Why? Her heart wasn't on what God had for him in another place. Her heart was on keeping the place they had, no matter how much craziness was going on. What was Sodom and Gomorrah about? Sodom, what are they, certain deviant acts called sodomy? That's where they get the word sodomy from, Sodom and Gomorrah. She wanted to be around all of this craziness. They weren't participating in it, but they were around it. And God's angel said, get out of here. And guess what? Y'all in situations with people right now where the divine consciousness of God is speaking to you and saying, get your ace out of here now. Because something is coming. Something is coming. And you lagging around, well, I got to do this. Let me do this first. Let me do that first. And the longer you stay, the more problems you have. I know with my words is changing the trajectory of somebody's situation right now. Is exactly what they needed to hear. And you sitting here dragging your feet. Let me tell you, if whatever it is good for you, it will follow you. It will come. And get in line. Stop getting in line with untruthful situations, lies and deceit. That's a bad situation. You see it. It done showed you. And you're stuck. For whatever reason, making excuses. Nah. It's not good for your spirit. Get out of there. Because why? Because what's on the other side of that is a blessing. A one you can't even imagine how good it is. Why? Because all you see is what you got right there, which is limited. It's limited, and you don't even know it. That fancy house, that fancy car, it's limited. God can give you way more than that. And what's more, what is worth more than having divine peace in your life? Because with that, you can accomplish anything. Title of the show was Be Prepared. Right? And it took me somewhere else. But this is all part of preparing. Because you have to mentally prepare yourself and say, in the morning, and this is a daily thing. Shoot, it's almost an hourly thing because anything can pop up as soon as you get out of that spiritual state of mind. Something gonna pop up to take you away from it, like the devil did. You got to constantly remind yourself that you must be in constant thanksgiving. Like right here, I was reading. What was I reading here? Rejoice in the Lord, O you righteous. Praise befits the upright. So you got to be in constant state of thanksgiving and praise. Constantly. That's the only way you're going to be able to block out or be able to withstand any type of situation that could take you off track. Something come at you, oh man, thank God that for everything that I have. Because it's that thing when you start thinking you don't have enough, I don't have this, and that you're gonna get that. You have all that you need. And if you can imagine or think that you want to have more, you have to see it as if you already have it. You want that bank account to have unlimited zeros on it, you have to see your bank account as having unlimited zeros on it. I got that. I got my bank account. Man, I got so much money in the bank. It ain't even funny. Man, I'm overflowing with abundance. You almost got to be boastful with how much you are being blessed and taken care of. It's okay. See, where I think the church went wrong is when in their praise and in worship is people praise in a way where they are saying, thank God he's going to take care of this someday. Thank God that he's going to fix my problems someday. That's where the disconnect is. Instead of saying, thank God, thank y'all, it's done. It's done. It's already done. Before you leave that prayer, you have already established in your consciousness that this matter is already resolved. The prayer is just a formal declaration of your success. God never asked you to beg him for anything. That's a man-made thing. Because you don't have to beg him. He's already made it available. You don't have to ask. Like the prodigal son, I always love this example. He was like, man, I'm just gonna go hang out with dad and get back, let me be a servant. I'm like, what are you talking about, son? This is always available. Let's have a party so we can remind ourselves that there's nothing here that you cannot partake of. You have it all already. What are you talking about? Wake up. Wake up. It's all yours. That success, whatever you're trying to do, is already successful. Oh, but I only get a few people watching my channel. So what? Keep working at it. You keep seeing yourself with that channel exploding. Oh, so many people are doing business. So what? Only reason why so many people are only doing business with you because you're still in the mindset of uttering the words that this is all I got. Not being thankful. If you got 10 followers, be thankful, be grateful for that. Because once you're grateful for that, then 10 times you'll have 100. Once you're grateful for the 100, you're going to have, when do you ever go to your channel and say, man, look at, man, I got 100 people following me. Wow. Thank God. Thank you. And guess what? Once you gave thanks for that, you're gonna say, man, thank you for these followers, and thank you for the thousands I'm gonna have. That I have. Not gonna. I have. They just, those people haven't, the energy has not connected to them to be here just yet. There's something I gotta produce that will attract them. So as you keep producing, something is going to attract them to that. Some people come to me and say, man, I found you by way of this. Some off way they found me. See, the proof that a lot of people follow me is by the amount of new people that I talk to on a weekly basis. It's not one week that don't go by that I don't talk to somebody new that I've never dealt with. I could that if I sit here and paid attention to these numbers that are on here right now, or paid attention to my actual followers on the channel, that's the devil. That's going to distract me. What I need to pay attention to is who I'm actually talking to and making changes in their life, or helping them make changes in their life. I don't make changes in people's lives. I help people make changes in their life. Let me just fix that. I don't want to be like Moses when he cracked that rock in the water and said, like, I did it. No. It ain't me. I'm just a tool. I want to get like that. So prepare yourself by way of your thought patterns and what you're saying. Prepare yourself by being thankful for everything that you have right now. Even the problem, be thankful for that. Hey, I think that this problem, having this problem now, I'm learning how to deal with it and how to overcome myself, not overcome that person. You knowing, see, in order for Jesus to not be tempted, he had to overcome himself, because Satan exists outside as a distraction, as an illusion to show you lies and to try to deceive. It's up to the individual to buy into it and believe it or go for it. He just made a simple presentation. Here, eat this food. Here, throw yourself down and God will come and fix your problems. That's an example. Some of us walk into disasters knowing it's a disaster and then asking God to fix it. Nah, that's what that represents. You know that was a bad idea to get with that person. You know that. You knew it. All the red flags was popping off and you still went down the path. But you still had to learn something, how to not tempt yourself into allowing yourself to get sucked in by people. You won't do that again. You know that when you caught this person or that person doing something and you forgave them, that they were going to do it again. And you kept forgiving them anyway. Instead of saying, this is who this person is. They showing me who they really are under pressure. Because the one thing you'll know about people, when they get under pressure, you see them for who they really are. They become who they are. All of the masks come off. And your only thing you need to do is believe it. Believe them. Don't start hoping for the best, believing for the best. This is the best this person can be right now based on these tough situations. You hoping, oh, they're going to do better. No, they're not. The only way they're going to do better is if they choose to do better. And that takes time. And you ain't got that kind of time. They need to be off by themselves, fixing a situation, while you need to be off by yourself, fixing your situation. Why I keep coming back to this? Somebody out there need to hear it. Somebody got this. I'm talking to somebody specifically. I don't know what your name is. They need to be off handling their business, getting themselves fixed and whole. Because while they're not whole, they're tearing a hole in you, tearing a hole in your spirit, tearing a hole in your confidence, tearing a hole in everything you're trying to accomplish, holding you back. And every time you know what, I'm just gonna be like Jesus and forgive them. That ain't Jesus, I'm telling you. Jesus forgave, but he ain't stick around for no drama. For a long period of time, he let them people do what he wanted to do. They did what they had to do, and then he moved on. So you can only take the pain and the suffering, and that was only for a night. And then he moved on. Hey, do your best to me. I know where I'm going. They done did their best to you. They done did their worst to you. Let it go. It's time to move on. Deal with it for a time and move on, and not days and months. Move on. Trust me, it's no better than what you're seeing right there in front of you. You almost gotta be like, whenever something crazy was happening, prophets would come and say, they show them a sign. Hey, this is when you see this, get the hell on. Because at some point, you're not going to be able to escape and you'll be trapped and stuck. All right, with that being said, that's enough. It says, I will bless, this is Psalm 34. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. I just said this, and I just said you got to almost brag, right? It says, my soul makes it boast in the Lord. Now, I didn't even read this. I just said this a few minutes ago. You almost got to brag on the fact that God has got you and taking care of everything now, not in the future, right now. It's done. It's done now. Let the humble hear and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me and let us exalt his name together. So that means get with like-minded people and have your praises together. All right. 11:05. Man, that time went by pretty quick. I'm going to leave you with that. Enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday. Please like, share. If you know somebody that could use the message I just conveyed, share it with them. And if it's for them, they're going to listen to it all the way through. How you know something is not for somebody or they're not ready to hear something is about how long they listen to it. Because their energy is not vibrating on that level. Sometimes y'all know people that can use something or even what I'm saying, right? And you share it with them. And you say, hey, did you listen to that? No, I ain't get to it yet. They not connected. Don't force, hey, go. Don't say, hey, you need to listen. No, you already did your job. It's like that parable where seed fall on different ground. Some fall on bad soil, good soil. That's all you're doing. You're just throwing seeds out there. Throwing them out and seeing where it's going to pick up. That's how you know what type of soil you just planted in. And that also tells you what you need to do as far as your association. Because if they're not ready to hear anything, you don't force it on them. You just keep moving in the direction you need to move in. It's okay to share things, but it's not okay to try to force people to accept it. Because I know, I share a lot of stuff, and I know the ones that are really serious. They come back, man, I listened to that. Man, that was great that you shared with me. And the challenge I deal with personally is people share stuff with me all the time. It's not like I don't want to listen to it. It's just that I got so much coming at me at different times. But guess what? A lot of times somebody would have shared something to me months ago that I didn't get the chance to watch, and I come to it today, and I watch it. Man, this guy shared this with me a long time ago. Man, what was I waiting on? I just wasn't resonating on the frequency to take that right then, but I needed it right now. This is where I needed it, to listen to it. So some of y'all got answers sitting in your inbox, sitting in your text messages, but you didn't take the time to look at it and see what it was all about. Or some of y'all come across content or things that may have good information buried in it, but because whoever is speaking and you got a personal thing against them, you won't listen no further than the first few words. I'm gonna tell you, the best information I've ever gotten is from people that I normally wouldn't listen to or pay attention to. But because I sat there and disciplined myself not to judge them and just hear what they had to say, it's like, wow, this was a really good information that's being conveyed. We have to be careful not to prejudge things too early. Like, before I go, they banned TikTok, so that forced a lot of people to make other decisions on where they was gonna post their information. So a lot of people went over to this app called Red Note, which is a Chinese version of TikTok. And then you get over there, I went over there to check it out, and I saw wait, man, these people are living good. This is not what the media is talking about. People showing food, how much it costs, much cheaper it is, how much cheaper it is to buy cars. The technology is way more advanced. But this is a socialistic society. But they have a very good health care system. I think they have universal health care. Then also they have what is it? What I was about to say. Technology. There was something I was gonna say. 'Cause it's like there was one guy on there. He was from America. He moved there, and he was renting this place in this high-rise building. And he had like a fob to open the gate to get into the building. Like it was a gate before you got up to the building, and it looked like futuristic. Then he went into the building, took the elevator up, and and it's so high up that your ears pop, so you know what that is, right? That's how high it is. So he used his thumbprint to open up his door, open up the door. The floors looked like this place looked like if you had this place here, they'd be charging you millions of dollars for it. It had heated floors. I think it had 2.5 bathrooms, 2 bathrooms in that place, 2 to 3 bathrooms. It had 3 bedrooms plus places where you could even have an office in it. And he was paying like $800 a month for that. $800. They had had it in a Chinese currency, but he broke it down what it would be, what that would cost here. Now let me before I leave you, let me drop something on you. And I need y'all to pay very close attention. You know, here they spend a lot of time villainizing other countries or showing you the worst parts of other countries. A lot of time. China, all you heard about is socialistic, people don't have freedom, blah, 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 blah. To become a lawyer in China, I think it's like $700 for a semester. It's not expensive. But that's a side point. They spend a lot of time villainizing. And they say this is to inform you. But why would the government spend all of its time trying to give you bad information about another country you're not even thinking about going to visit? Why would they do that? Because they have to show you the worst parts of something so that you don't see the worst parts of what you actually in. They don't want you to see the cesspool you really living in. And the lies, I mean, y'all know, some of y'all who listen to me know y'all in a bunch of lies. History is a lie. Your paycheck's a lie. The things they make you do with your paycheck, how they take your money out of your paycheck before you get it is a lie. Making that mandatory when it's really a voluntary thing. Lies. So they tell you bad stories about all these other countries, and it's a scripture that says is that the devil has turned himself into an angel of light. So darkness is making you think it's an angel of light. That's what you got going on. Yeah, let me show you this, show you that. This is why you need to be here and deal with us, because all this stuff over there. But see, how can you be so arrogant to speak against something if you've never experienced it? Your only experience is by what you've been shown. So you don't know what it's like over there. You don't. All you know is by what someone told you. And y'all know what I talk about that. What I say about that. Homelessness is 0.18%. And our homeless level is around almost 3%. And they have a bigger population, like 1 billion people. And we have 330 something million? What's our population? Well, we have a medical system that the 3rd leading cause of death in the medical system is malpractice, provider error. Medical malpractice is the 3rd leading cause of death. It's in the top, right? Number 3. And that's what they count. But also you start studying, and I've been studying different countries' healthcare. Like what I need to get done here, what would it cost me if I traveled over there to get it done? Fraction of the cost. And when I did studies to find out who's got the best healthcare, some of these places that they say got bad healthcare, like Mexico has very good healthcare, especially when it comes to dental. A lot of people travel over to medical to get their work done. And I know people that have done it and they are completely satisfied with their work. So you got a medical vacation you could take. So let me go through the names and then I'll shut it down. All right, Lakinapo says, peace to the gods, much love and light. And Lavita says, peace to all of you. Peace back to you. DJ JOJ said, peace almighty. We are here on this glorious day for the word. Thank you. Road Warrior says, peace everyone. Most hated bronze. Flat Power God says, I guess he's saying salute to everybody. Red Pill Real said, what's good? C King Bay said, peace everyone. Cherokee says, Supreme Rising. Son of the One True King, peace. House of Yanez, peace, Hakeem, thank you. Son of the One True King says, peace to all. DJ Jail says, I got tested real big last October. That's how I know big things are coming in this 9-year born year complete. Peace. Good. Peace to God says, my God. OG Big BK. All right. Let's speak on it again. We are missing a lot of likes. Thank you. Yes, we are. Missing like 8. Peace to the gods, David Jackson. Appreciate your words this morning. Bailey says, well, I'm giving infinite likes to hope. It shows as I am in silence as I've learned. They look to me to build their anger and no family or friends. Yeah, I was very silly for this. Not looking back. Salute and thanks for this. Sarah in Connecticut. And smartest thing was to keep all my receipts and records. Good. And some of the ones you kids, wow, famous quote from Hakeem, your paycheck is a lie. It is. Because that paycheck represents limits on you that you placed on yourself. That's what it represents. It represents you get it, they take money from you before you even get to use it for yourself. That's called extortion and robbery. Peace, wealth, and prosperity. I second that. All right, with that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your January 19th. Just be prepared out there. Be on the lookout. Tomorrow's a big day for this country. Tomorrow's a big day. Just be prepared. God willing, nothing will happen. God, and if it does, so what? Keep it moving. All right, peace. True happiness, true contentment comes from within, not out. Everything outside of you is like a benefit or an add-on to your own happiness. You are in charge of happiness over yourself. You're in charge of your belief systems. You are 100% responsible for what you believe in and what you hold as true. And then because of that, all the results you get from that is all on you. The labels you choose, the I am that you pick and choose for yourself is what you are experiencing right now in this material world.